So, you've been wondering, should I start out with a USB microphone or should I start out with an XLR microphone? Good question. In this video, I'll give you my answer plus a bonus tip for beginners, so stay tuned and I'll see you on the other side. Yeah, so there's many types of microphones, right? And the price points can go anywhere from, like under $100 to thousands of dollars. Microphones that you would find in a professional recording studio, can go into the thousands. What's pictured here, though, is a Samsung mic. That one you can find for about $80. And the USB mic that's pictured is a Blue Yeti mic. And that one you can find for about $130. Sometimes it's a little bit less, sometimes a little bit more, but $130 is that's a good ballpark figure. And even though there's like many, many different kinds of microphones, basically there's just two kinds of connectivity for these mics. One is an XLR connector, and the other is a USB connector. All right, so here are the connectors, right? So with an XLR microphone, you will typically find a 3-prong connector, and with a USB mic, you'll find a USB connect. This is the same kind of connection that you would find on your PC and or laptop. So let's take a look at the XLR mic setup. Okay, so the first thing is, your recording software is going to be on your PC or laptop, and in the audio field, recording software is referred to as a DAW, which stands for Digital Audio Workstation. Now there's a number of these out on the net. There's a number that are sold commercially, but that's just, a whole nother, tutorial. But what we can see with the XLR mic is that a 3-prong connector is not going to fit into a USB port, right? So that means, we're going to need another piece of equipment to establish the connection from the microphone to the recording software. So this extra piece of equipment is typically an audio interface. So you can see from the picture, the mics connect to the front of the audio interface, and then you connect the audio interface to your PC or laptop with the USB cable. And so in that way, you establish the connectivity chain from your microphone to your recording software. Now, an audio interface does much more than just solve the connectivity issue. And actually, that's kind of like a side feature. The main purpose of the audio interface is to improve the sound, so to speak, as it travels from your microphone to your recording software. There's lots of tutorials out there on YouTube that talk about audio interfaces. For this video, we're just focusing on the connectivity. So let's take a look at the USB connection. So you can see this, is just a whole lot simpler, right? The USB mic connects directly into the USB port that is on your PC or laptop. So it's just, very simple, direct connection, kind of plug and play, and, you're ready to go. But, you may be wondering, what about this audio interface stuff? How does that play into your USB microphone? Well, you see, the thing is about a USB mic is that it's more than just a microphone. It has the audio interface components, built in. So that's why there's no additional equipment required, and you can connect right up and you can start recording, kind of immediately. All right, so now a few words about these two setups. As you can see with the XLR setup, you can record with more than one microphone. However, you're going to need an additional piece of equipment, namely this audio interface. And, if you're new to this whole field of recording like I was, this means you'll need to do some research, get on a learning curve, and make another purchase decision. Now, with the USB setup, obviously you'll just have one microphone to work with, but there is no additional equipment and you can start recording right away. So, what did I decide? Inquiring minds would like to know. Well, I went with the Blue Yeti. And you know, looking back, I think I went for the USB mic because, as my friends in the UK would say, I was keen on getting to make my first recording and getting it published out on YouTube. Just wanted to get going, didn't want to wait. So I went for the Blue Yeti. So now the question is, did I make a good decision? All right, what a cliffhanger. So did I make a good decision, or not? Well, here are the takeaways. After about 3 months or so, some creative juices started flowing and I started thinking about recording with 2 microphones, right? How would that sound? For example, have one microphone on the body of the guitar and one microphone up on the neck. May get a whole different sound. Maybe do a vocal with guitar, with one mic on the vocal and one mic on the guitar. Or come think of it, maybe have somebody else do the vocal while I play the guitar. Unfortunately, going with the USB mic had limited my options, right? One microphone. So I just didn't realize how quickly I would start thinking about other ways to record. Now, I do not have anything bad to say about the Blue Yeti, right? Worked right out of the box, reliable. I was able to quickly record my first guitar video. So no problem with the Blue Yeti. But here's the thing, if you're starting out and you're passionate about recording your own music, then go ahead and get an XLR microphone and audio interface. USB mic, it's a good mic, but better suited for folks doing podcasts and or voiceovers. Okay? So with that, time for the bonus tip. Hey, come on in. All right, got it. So, after a while, I realized there was a real limit to how much I could learn by diving into YouTube videos and reading articles. And getting professionally trained, well, that could run into maybe hundreds or thousands of dollars. So I eventually checked out my local community college, and sure enough, there were a couple of audio courses that they offered. They were very hands-on. They were taught right in the college's recording studio. A lot of one-on-one time with the sound engineer was very beneficial. So keep that in mind. Really good option, really good affordable option, right? So now to the close. Yeah, so please like, subscribe, and by all means leave a comment. I'd love to know what your thoughts are, what other suggestions you might have for future tutorials. Would love to know. Yeah, and also please check out the links below. I've been through a lot of these videos. The ones I've listed I found particularly helpful. They were really well done, and they may be helpful, to you too. So with that, we'll see you next time.